Hello everybody and welcome back to another Mountain View Soap Co video. My name is Hannah and today we are going to be making a Color Morph pumpkin patch soap. The pumpkin patch soap is a part of the fall release happening on September 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern, so you can mark your calendars. I actually had two different designs for this soap and I decided to go with number 2, and I'm glad that I did. The color palette for this soap, I almost couldn't say palette there. The color palette for this soap was inspired by a cake made by Sugar and Sparrow. I found it when I was doing some research. I'll pop a photo on screen now. Is this cake not stunning? Oh my goodness, I'm obsessed with it. So that's kind of what I did. And I hand molded over 100 little pumpkin embeds out of soap dough for this, and they came out so cute. I am using the Pumpkin Pecan Waffles fragrance from the Flaming Candle, which causes an absolutely insane color morph, which you guys will see. And basically what I'm going to do is pour off 3 colors as accent colors for this soap. I'm using Tangerine Dream and Blue Tide from Mad Micas, and then I am using the very small bit of Magic Mushroom that I had left from Nurture Soap. I'll link everything in the description below so that you can have a look. And I'm also going to add a little bit of titanium dioxide to everything to get those really nice pastel colors. And I really wanted to make sure that everything matched with the embeds and the frosting matched with the base and all of that stuff. So you can kind of see already that the color morph is starting to happen. The color morph is not nearly as bad in the base as what it is on the frosting. So when I started piping the frosting, which you'll see, I was kind of like starting to freak out a little bit because I'm like, this is not the right color. This is not the right color at all. The base, which I obviously saw discolored a little bit because I wanted it to be pure white. This is not pure white. This is like a light brown color, which is totally fine. Not a big deal. Before I get to pouring though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video. I also have a question for you guys. And I would love for you to let me know in the comments if this is something you're interested in. I've had a lot of questions recently about what I use, where I got it, all of that type of stuff. So I was curious if you would possibly like some sort of a studio tour, which would not be very big. And also kind of like my essential tools for soap making type of a video. Typically, my main soaping videos where I show you which soaps I'm making for every collection do a lot better on the channel than everything else. But I know some of you still do like those other behind the scenes types of videos. So I wanted to kind of ask that question to see if that is something that you would be interested in. So let me know in the comments below if you are. And if you aren't, let me know if you are somebody who likes to visit pumpkin patches in the fall. I love doing it. I love carving pumpkins. I am all of the fall activities type of a person. I'm hopefully going to be headed to some sunflower fields very soon, hopefully in the next couple weeks, or weekends rather. So that's something that's on my to-do list. So I am blending up the rest of the colors now that I have that base poured in there. And I am going to do a little bit of a drop swirl before I do the hanger. Are these colors not so adorable and cute together? I love this color palette. And also with all things Hannah, I have to make a mess, you guys. I have to. And you know what the best part is? Even after I made the mess there, I made the mess again on the second loaf because I just live to clean up after myself. So like, why the heck would I not make a mess? Thankfully, with the power of editing though, I was able to clean it up a lot quicker than what it took me in real life. And at this moment, when I was pouring the blue, I'm like, oh, I definitely poured way too much in the first loaf and now I have no more for the second. Thankfully though, I could just kind of scoop it out of the first loaf and pour it into the second one. It's going to be a hanger swirl anyway, so it doesn't really matter how it looks. And typically when I make 2 loaves of soap, I actually pour off 2 separate containers. And I was kind of in the zone and kind of forgot about it at that moment. So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. And then I ended up pouring way too much of the brown in this section, which the brown actually looks gray because of the color morphing and the color change and discoloration and stuff like that. But it does go back, I promise. So the hanger swirl tool thing that I have, I actually got from Amazon. It was really cheap. I'll put it in the description below. I love to use Amazon for all of the things because they typically are one of the cheapest compared to buying from the big suppliers and stuff like that, or you know, they do have 2 free day shipping, so it's easy for me to get stuff like that. So I typically buy a lot of stuff from there. And then to answer any questions of how do you, figure out what to do with your hanger swirl, I don't have any rhyme, no reason, no rules, no nothing like that I follow. I basically just knew that I wanted this to have some really intense lines. So I tried to do sharp ups and downs and side to sides and, all of that lovely jazz. And actually, for this soap, I decided to put some fragrance in the frosting. And you can start to see the discoloration is very heavy in my soap frosting. This is kind of like a light brown, and it's going to turn to a pink, and then it turns to a little bit of a purple after, and then it goes back to a normal color. But I was really genuinely freaking out here. I'm like, oh no, this is not the way that I want it to go. But I wanted the soap frosting to match the inside. So I figured, okay, well, at least I'll get the same discoloration as the base if I put the fragrance in the frosting. I've also gotten, and I want to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back here, in, the little over a year that I've been soap making, I have thankfully gotten a whole lot better with placing my embeds, which you'll see my cute little soap dough embed soon. I went with the same 3 colors as the inside. I went with white, the Tangerine Dream, and then of course the Blue Tide. And thankfully those are kind of colors that I already had pre-made, so I didn't have to go over and make more soap dough for this. I had already made a ton of soap dough for all of the other soaps that I had to do molding for this collection, but I've gotten a lot better at the placing of my embeds. And this is kind of a strategy that I've used for a really kind of long time, but it's taken a lot of time to get good at it. So basically what I do is I have my ruler and I place my embeds in the middle of an inch mark. So my soaps are always cut at an inch thick. And then what I do after I have that first line in is I use the top as kind of like an anchor point to do the rest of the soap. That way I know that it's always going to be center as long as it follows along with the embed that's on the main top. And I typically do this with all of my soaps regardless of whether or not it's a low top artisan or a frosted soap. I always try to put the biggest embed on first. So at this point, you can see that the frosting has gotten even more kind of like pinkish, and I don't know, the color was just not very tasteful to me. I don't know, I want to say that it reminds me of like a gross horror movie, like insides of somebody's body, like gross skin color. But I kind of just tried to I don't know, I guess I think of it as like an alien color, like alien goo color. And I know Halloween's coming up, so I could have gone with it, but I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I absolutely hate this. So what I did instead was I decided that I was going to go ahead and pull out my box of glitter. I have a whole box of glitter and sprinkles that I use for my wax melts and my scrubs and my soaps and all of that stuff. So I am going to be using 3 different color blends on this guy, and of course I always use the good glitter, and I always spray down my soaps with isopropyl alcohol before I put any glitter on. And the reason why I do that is just because it helps to make the glitter stick a little bit. And for those of you that don't know, the good glitter is a biodegradable, good for the environment glitter that is safe for skin. You can use it directly on your skin for like a makeup or a festival look or something like that, or you can put it in your scrubs, your butters if you wanted to. I don't know why you would want to put it in a body butter, but you can also put it in your wax melt, on your candles, stuff like that. So the 3 different glitter blends that I'm using are actually brand new colors for the fall collection from the Good Glitter. They are Pale Orange and Extra Chunky, Auburn in Chunky and Extra Chunky, and Pale Blue in Chunky and Extra Chunky. And I am so obsessed with the glitter blend that I kind of created with this. It is so beautiful. And the Auburn color and Pale Blue are by far my favorite. They are so beautiful. I mean, look at that stunning soap with the gross purple color of the soap frosting. I'm going to go ahead though and show you a little side-by-side comparison of what it looked like when I had finished finished piping and decorating the top, and then what it looked like after I had gelled the soap. So I'm going to pop that up on the screen right now so that you can see it. So on the left, I have the gross color of soap frosting that I hated. And then we have the full discoloration and full color morph of the pumpkin patch soap on the right. And it is stunning. And oh my goodness, I am so happy with the way that it actually ended up turning out, and I am really happy that I decided to add the glitter. For me, I'm just not really a fan of like plain soap tops, especially when there's frosting. Even with my apple soap that I made, I'll pop a card on screen if you haven't seen that video yet, but even with that one I wanted to add glitter because I'm just not a fan of like plain soap frosting on top. I like extravagant and fun and creative. I like that. So overall, this soap totally surprised the heck out of me, and I am just absolutely obsessed. I remember when I cut this soap, which I did cut it on camera, but I remember when I cut this soap, I sent a picture to my mom, and I was like almost in tears. I'm like, Mom, it's not terrible. It's actually really nice. So it's very cute and very fall/autumny vibes. So I am going to go ahead and cut this on camera so you guys can see what it looks like. And if you look on the left hand of the screen, you can see a couple of the embeds are like, oh, we're going for a little ride. And I do cut my soaps when they're pretty warm still, so I'm able to kind of push those embeds back down so they solidify back into the soap. So it's really helpful to do that. But overall, I did a pretty good job of placing the embeds, which I'm really happy about. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I love it. And there's still a little bit of color morphing that happens after it has sat, but it is just such a stunning soap. And I really wanted to call this soap Autumn Vibes, but I need the word vibes for my sweater weather soap because I can't call it sweater weather. So that one's going to be called Sweater Vibes instead, just because I don't want to get in trouble or anything crazy like that. And of course, I still have another loaf of soap to cut. And this one, I got lucky and none of the embeds started to fall off. So that was really cool and exciting. And this one, of course, because I had a little bit of difference in the amount of colors that I put in each one, does look a little bit different, but I still love it so much. It is just such a nice, light, and beautiful bar that isn't too crazy, but just enough. I also wanted to shout out our Instagram. Don't forget to check us out over there. I am posting a ton of content about the fall collection. I have a little timer going on my stories almost every single day, so you can be alerted of how many days are left, see the countdown, and also Instagram will send you a notification at that time. So you can head over there to follow us. We are Mountain View Soap on Instagram and also on TikTok too. I'm not doing too much on TikTok, but I'm trying. So this is just a last time reminder that the fall collection is dropping on September 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will have new soaps, butters, scrubs, wax melts, and 2 new products. I'll have bath bombs and bubble bars coming to the soap shop, which I'm really, really excited about. I also have a quick slow-mo for you on what these bars looked like cut so you can see a little bit more of the variety. And that is all from me. I will see you here on Tuesday for another look at a really fun soap that I decided to do. It's very, very simple, but also really cute and in a little fun shape. So I hope you had a great time here with me watching on this Sunday or whatever day it is that you're watching. I will see you here same time, same place. Thank you for watching. Bye.